Committee on the 6th, evaluation subcommittee on the 6th. We need to reschedule a communications subcommittee, and then athletics subcommittee will meet on the 26th of April.
Mel, just to note, on April 11th, we'll be making our presentation for the evaluation of the school committee.
Okay.
So the process will be distributing that and making a short presentation.
Is that a self-evaluation? Oh, that's the thing from the mask. Okay, okay, great.
Dead Sea School.
Right, the scroll that Cliff brought many months ago.
Yep, we made individualized ones for everyone.
Anything you want to highlight, Kathy, on the administrative report?
Actually, again, I wanted just to point out that our students did so well on the World Quest competition, and Adam already spoke to that. I do have one more handout that I'd like to hand out to you. This is an overview of a documentary that we'd like to show in North Reading. It's called The Race to Nowhere, The Dark Side of America's Achievement Culture. So what I did was I went to the website and I printed out a couple of pieces of information for you about the film and a letter from the director. The documentary, I've had a chance to see the documentary, so has Patrick and two of our principals, Glenn McKay and Christine Molly. Deanna Castro has been, several other members of Stanford Children and NRU. And we think that bringing it to North Reading will allow the community to engage in a worthwhile conversation about some of the themes that are highlighted in this documentary. It can be somewhat controversial, and of course we don't always agree with everything we see or hear or read, but it does allow us to engage in a very important conversation around the pressures that students face today that emanate from college expectations and begin in preschool. So I think that it will be really important to make sure that I get the date to you when it is solidified, to invite you to participate in the audience. We're hoping to have a panel after the documentary to be able to talk about what themes really stood out for those of us that sit on the panel, and then allow the conversation to continue with audience members talking about what themes resonated with them. We're still planning and will co-plan with NRU and Stanford Children to develop this kind of a response to the documentary. We're looking at April 28th. It's a Friday night, Thursday night. It's the Thursday after April vacation. And there is a $10 charge. Everything is done online to register, although you can sell tickets the night of the documentary. If we have over 100 people, any amount of people over 100 allows us to then make a little bit of a profit off of the tickets that we sell. I attended the second showing in Reading, and the auditorium was packed. So it is drawing large crowds from surrounding towns as well as the towns in which it is shown. And it does allow for a very important conversation to take place.
So when do you think you'll have the date and everything?
I'm meeting with Patrick on Wednesday, and I hope this Wednesday to know for sure whether or not we can get it on the 28th.
And then you'll get that out through the
We will absolutely publish. We'll have a subcommittee meeting of those individuals that are planning the panel presentation after, and then we'll get the advertising out.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure you had this.
Did you also want to, or I'll point out, and you can, very impressive, the bullying plan. There was an article actually in the Globe Northwest Weekly section a couple of weeks ago which called out all of the towns and districts in our area that didn't do so well, and their plans were basically sent back to them. In our plan, we received, there was only one item where we received, they weren't, it wasn't that we didn't complete it, they weren't sure what the plan was, what the plan was specifically saying, and I think we just have to go back and correct that, but it looks like we did a great job on our plan.
There were 32 indicators. It would have been great to have the rubric ahead of time.
Right.
But there were 32 indicators on which we were judged, and as you said, Mel, there was only one that needed a little more clarity.
So 31 of those we received a yes on, which we met the rubric, so
yes.
It was a great job by the committee and Karen and the crew that was on that.
Last week I met with the Parent Advisory Council for the superintendent. We meet 4 times a year, and one thing that I did go over was a little compilation of all of the wonderful things that have taken place in our schools over the month of March, and I didn't even fit everything into that. But our students have done extraordinarily well, from Science Olympiad to this World Quest. We've had students doing poetry readings at the library from the elementary schools. You had a chance to hear about the Batchelder School students with this EduVision. And then the little school, I'm sorry, the Hood School was the one that did the poetry readings. The little school, we had an author come in. His name was Tavares, an author illustrator, and children were selected to have lunch with him. They had written an essay of why they should have lunch with him. And then they got to talk to him about writing and how important it is to develop their writing skills in elementary school so they too can become writers and illustrators of children's books. I had a chance to see that as well. There's been an awful lot going on, and we should be very proud of the accomplishments of the students in this district. They are amazing.
What did we finish in the Olympiad, third?
Third.
Cliff was on that team, he was a
This is our
coach.
third year. First year, I think we came in, I want to say seventh. Last year, we came in fifth, and this year we came in third. We're third behind Sudbury by, my recollection is like 34 points. Reading was, as usual, right up at the top. They've been doing it for 17 years, 18 years. They put in about 6 hours a week per student. We were averaging about maybe 35 or 40 minutes per week per student. So it's a pretty substantial difference. But we were quite successful this year. And very much within reach of number 2.
Great.
That is fantastic.
It's great.
Excellent.
Yes, great achievement. We saw the best cats at the batch kids winning the regionals for that. Their NutriFridge
The
tonight.
NutriFridge.
I'm gonna share that with my office.
The NutriFridge?
A huge childhood obesity project.
I love that. Great.
Another handout that you received tonight was from the Suburban Coalition Annual Legislative Breakfast. That's coming up on April 26th at the Great Hall of the State House on Beacon Hill. So I passed that information out to you this evening.
I've signed up for that.
Okay.
And I know that there's Deanna Castro is going to as well. They're looking for others to do it.
And tomorrow, Karen, Cliff, and I will spend a day on the Hill for the annual MASC Day on the Hill.
Right.
So we'll bring back any information.
And sadly, we were going to enter a team in the spelling bee on Thursday night, or the spelling hornet, but we can't because we have our budget workshop.
Darn.
And the team I was on a couple years ago was a powerhouse, but unfortunately, Dr. Troughton dragged us down. We did well. I was surprised. I thought his spelling skill, he kept questioning me on every word. And after the third one, when I was right and he was wrong, he let me go with the team the rest of the way. So, but we can't participate this year.
Lesson learned.
I know, would have been fun. Very powerful.
Can you spell check?
No spell check, no. Anything else?
Yes, I'd just like to mention the next meeting.
All right.
It's April 11th. It is the public school budget hearing. It will be in the LGR, the large group room of the middle school.
And we will have administrators there
Yes,
from all the
yes,
schools,
that is
correct? And
correct.
also the district-wide.
That is correct.
Okay. And the public is welcome. We welcome input. Great. Anything else?
Give it the rest of the time.
Great. I do want to thank I do want to thank the Massachusetts Department, DESE, for sending us Race to the Top brochures, even though we don't participate. They're very colorful.
I'd like to know how
They
much
did
they
get
spent on
something
it.
Right.
entirely right in this. If I can
Yes.
borrow you a second.
They did.
They're beautifully designed. The
They
back
got,
looks
they
like a
got,
chalkboard.
got the colors on the inside just right.
Right, they have the North
Green
Reading
and gold,
colors.
right?
They're North Reading colors, too. So,
Green.
We're
All
already
right.
at the top. We don't need praise.
oh yes, we have to thank
still
Mr.
here,
Colleen,
too.
who's
Still
still
here.
here.
Oh, look
In
at
the
that.
Batchelor School.
Thank
You did a great job tonight. Your kids are very
Excellent.
talented. Your staff was great. So,
John, you must have to lock up tonight when we do it.
well, it's gonna clean after we
Oh,
leave.
all
So,
right.
yeah. All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
Kathy, are you gonna post for that?